What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to bring you some more lore behind my own personal D&D created universe, the Embers of Divinity. So if you guys don't know what that is, or you didn't catch the video from 2 days ago, basically I created my own universe that has multiple worlds and whatnot, and it's a lot to get into in this video, so I'm going to link that video at the end of this video so you guys can check it out and be up to speed, up to date on what I'm actually talking about. So for those of you who've actually seen that video, let's dive into the Warriors of Paradisio, the 10 Commandments, and the 7 Deadly Sins. The world of Paradisio is split into 3 realms. You have the upper realm, which is known as heaven, and that is where the embodiment of good, God, resides. Below heaven, you have the world known as Earth, pretty much. That is where humanity resides, and then below that, you have the realm of hell, Lucifer's domain, and Lucifer is the embodiment of evil. There is a 4th domain which is unknown to the gods at this point, but I'm going to let you know that that domain is purgatory, which we'll get into in a different video. But for now, let's dive into Lucifer's minions, his generals of war, the 7 sins. Now Lucifer is the embodiment of evil, and his evil attains power from the sins of humanity, and those sins are known as greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, sloth, and pride. Lucifer can then give fragments of his power to give rise to this sin into a demonic form. For example, he can split his power into 7 to create the 7 sins in their demon forms. These sins are essentially symbiotic, meaning that they need a host creature to attach to, and it's best if you can attach that sin to a creature that embodies the sin that they are. So for example, if there is a powerful warrior who's just attaining power through fighting, and he gets his power through anger and that kind of thing, then wrath would probably be the best symbiote to embody that creature. Now, since these demons are inhabiting a world that's basically using the format of Dungeons and Dragons, each sin has its own abilities. So for example, greed, if you're able to give him gold, he won't attack you for that turn, which is really good, but again, figuring that out is half the battle. With lust, if it is a male creature that has the lust sin, males attacking that creature do half damage, while females, or the opposite gender, does double the damage. With envy, after every attack roll, you have to roll a d6. On a 1, 2, or 3, you're able to steal 1 piece of equipment from the enemy target, and that just shows that they're envious of what others have, so they're trying to take it for themselves. With gluttony, it's similar to that of greed. If you give him food, then his attacks being dealt to you do half damage, because he's too busy eating. He's not so focused on attacking. Wrath, this is a really good one. Basically, anytime a player, NPC, whatever, deals damage to Wrath, they take an additional 1d6 damage in retaliation. And that's just saying, like, you attack Wrath, but Wrath is just so vengeful, so bloodthirsty, that they attack you at the same time. With Sloth, pretty much they could imbue you with their sin. So they can basically throw a piece of themselves at the enemy, and that target creature can't act for that turn. Either that, or they just move at half speed. I haven't decided yet. And finally we come to the last sin, pride. And this one basically means that pride deals the most damage when they've taken no damage. So the more damage that the sin of pride takes, the less damage he will be able to dish out. And finally, since I did say that these sins are all symbiotic, they can fuse with one another to create a demonic being of unimaginable power known simply as the original sin. and he basically has um, all of the abilities that I just spoke about for each individual sin. So this is indeed a boss level character. Or again, they can all fuse back into Lucifer, and then he has the power of the original sin plus his own fallen angel powers. So this is literally almost like god tier battles in D&D with this guy. And now let's shift on over to the domain of heaven, and this domain is where the omnipotent, the all-powerful, the all-knowing God resides. So God is basically the powerfulest being on the plane of Paradisio, and under him you have the commander of his 10 angel warriors, and that is Gabriel. Gabriel is basically the weaker version, the good version of Lucifer. And under him, like I said, you have the 10 angel warriors known as the 10 Commandments, and they are as followed. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall make no false idols. You shall not take the Lord's name in vain. You shall keep the Sabbath day holy. You shall honor your father and mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. And the final commandment, you shall not covet. And going through the D&D abilities that each commandment has, beginning with you shall have no other gods before me, basically the way I interpreted that is that any attacks against that angel or that commandment has disadvantage. With the next one, you shall make no false idols. An enemy cannot use any magical items for a minute, and that only happens once. The next one, you shall not take the Lord's name in vain. An enemy cannot speak for a minute. You have to keep the Sabbath day holy. For a full 24-hour day, all the attacks by that targeted character basically deal an additional 1d6 of radiant damage. So basically they're saying this day is holy and they're empowered. The honor your father and mother commandment, basically a male and a female ally gain a +2 to their AC for that duration of the battle. You shall not murder. One target creature cannot be dealt a killing blow one time. Basically, if any attack would bring them to 0, it only reduces it to 1. You shall not commit adultery. A target character or creature skips his or next turn. You shall not steal. One target creature cannot use one single piece of equipment that you can see for a minute. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. A target cannot lie for 24 hours. And the last one, you shall not covet. You can switch the damage you take from an attack to another creature within 10 feet of you. And then these 10 commandments work similar to that of the sins. They're I wouldn't say they're symbiotic in nature, but the angels can remove their sin from within them, which is shown as a halo, and they could grant that sin to another creature. The stronger the creature is in their alignment, so for example, if they're lawful good, then the stronger the ability gets to them. So for example, the ability that honor your father and mother, that gives you a +2 to the AC of a male and female creature, maybe that +2 becomes a +3, that kind of idea. So with the 10 commandments, that's really boosting lawful good characters, and again, if they're like chaotic evil, they aren't able to grant the commandment to that creature. The one difference between this is that Gabriel cannot absorb these commandments into him. Gabriel is merely the general of the commandments, but the commandments themselves would go back into God and strengthen him even more with these abilities. Once Lucifer has fused back with his 7 sins, and once God has absorbed the 10 commandments into him, these two beings of good and evil can actually fuse with one another to create a being that is neither good nor evil. They don't have the capacity to be good or evil. They simply exist, and that existence is known as the Creator. Now, the Creator is a being of unimaginable power, more so than God, and it is literally almost undefeatable. The Creator has access to all of the abilities that I just named, all 17 from the sins and the commandments, and he is just, or doesn't even have a sex. The Creator is just on a whole nother level. And as of right now, that being is probably the strongest being in existence within the universe of the Embers of Divinity. So as of right now, all the other worlds they're not on that level. So that's really going to change the way that they try to attack Paradise. So for example, Shinto Ryu, they have the 3 dragon gods, but they don't have a way to become one being as of yet. So if they try to go toe to toe against the Creator, chances are they're not going to win, and then that basically leaves the defenses for Shinto Ryu's world to get invaded, and then humanity from that world would then praise the Creator as their god, strengthening the Creator, and the Ember of Divinity from Shinto Ryu's world would go to Paradise, strengthening that world even more so, and making it that much harder for the other 3 worlds to beat down Paradise. And then Paradise would then, if he kills the rest of the worlds and takes their embers, he would then ascend to become a law of the universe. And that's pretty much how this whole universe, galaxy works in my D&D campaigns. So again, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, check out the previous video, which I'll link at the end, and I'll make a playlist with all my D&D videos that occur within this universe. And yeah, that's what I got. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how these abilities sound to you. So for example, if the ability of Sloth, should it be it slows down a character by half speed, or does it actually freeze that character, making them unable to do anything for that turn? Which one sounds more fitting? Again, they're supposed to be powerful abilities, and you're gonna have to think it in the perspective of, oh, I'm fighting against somebody that can do this to me. Is this fair or not? So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to read them and hopefully respond back to you guys. Don't forget, guys, we do post Warhammer videos each and every day, so hit that subscribe button for 40k stuff, as well as D&D stuff sprinkled here and there. We do have a Patreon page. Simple dollar goes a long way. That dollar helps us get better equipment and do giveaways for you guys. And we also have a Facebook page. We post there pretty often. Check out exclusive behind the scenes stuff, some pictures of our armies, kind of keep you updated on what's going on in the 40k world. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment down below and hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. This is the Sound Alchemist, part of the One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you then.